Hello, ladies and sirs. Welcome to the channel name of Sir Dual Saber. I'm Sir Dual Saber, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I was gonna kind of oust myself as a Lego fanatic in a video idea. I thought that'd be kind of neat to show my collection and be like, you never knew this. But surprise, surprise. We're gonna be doing a Lego building stream, but not what you might think. We're actually going to be using stud.io or Studio from Bricklink to build up some models from the Lego Star Wars universe, which is something that I like to dabble in. You know, everyone has their custom ATRTs and their own like R2D2 unit things, but I like to build up mostly droids. So we're going to be doing a bit of that, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I've already worked on. First comment from Duke172. Hi, Cade. I don't have a webcam. Sort of see about a week ago. Okay, it was longer than a week ago. Okay. I have had this webcam for about, I don't know, probably about 2 weeks. And that was before then. Alright, that was Minecon. Minecon? Minecraft Earth. Right? That's what they're calling their conventions now, right? Minecraft Earth. Hi. There was supposed to be music. I downloaded some things from the YouTube sound library, and I have them all in a file folder. When I go to play them, like if I play this Digital Secrets one, there's no desktop audio for some reason, and I'm not sure why that is. Maybe if I... Oh, it's only when I have it to my speaker. So what if I turn off my speakers so I can't actually hear it? And then it plays. So if I look at the live stream. Okay, now there's music. That's so odd. What the heck? Okay, so what happens if I play it quietly through my speakers? Does that make the audio overlay super sound? I don't know. I'm listening. I'm trying. So I have it turned down now. If I turn it down to like 3%. Does that help? No. So it doesn't matter how I have it mixed on my end. If I turn down desktop audio to like negative 16 decibels, right? Does that help? So it doesn't matter how I have it. Turn down desktop audio. Okay. How's that? Okay, I'll stop listening to the... I have 3 messages from Kate. Hi, lol. FYI, louder than your voice. I can barely hear you, man. We're trying to get the balance here. Trying to. If I turn... Let's see, we'll turn that up to whatever, and we'll just modify the balance in OBS. That's better. Okay. We'll turn it down an additional couple clicks here, and we'll start the playlist over. So, I tried to have this all set up, but... Let's see. Play. So I have my selection. I have loop and shuffle. So we'll keep that over there, right? We won't have to open up that folder again. So now we have music. Now I can hear music, so I won't get too far sucked into what we're doing here. Check the stream again. Can I actually get too far sucked into what we're doing here? Check the stream. Oh no, I can't hear the music balance at all on my replay. Let's see. We'll check my phone, because the phone is always the most... Go forward. We'll check my phone, because the phone is always the most... Go forward. We'll check my phone, because the phone is always the most... Forward. Could probably do with turning the balance up just a little. There we go. The other people here, if you already hit the subscribe button, Cade says. I'd be up for that, you know. That'd be a welcome thing. This isn't what it's not what I usually do, to be sure. But I got into a bit of a feverish state yesterday of, I really want to build something. And so we cranked out this Assassin Probe. And if you aren't familiar with the Assassin Probe, shall I pull up the picture? Yep. I looked up the picture on Wikipedia, which is a tremendous resource for people in the Star Wars fandom, or the Star Wars taste public. There's a term for you there that you might not know of. On Wikipedia, I researched the episode, what was it, Voyage of Temptation, and that had these assassin probes. And as far as I know, this is the only episode that they appear in. I'm not sure for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's the only episode that they came in. Let's see, where is it? Probe. Oh, in this article they call them probe killer droids. I guess they appear in Legends a bit more, but that's most of the things, right? Let's see, Assassin Probe. There we go. New tab. Okay. So this is what we're kind of working with here, right? It's this big old machine that in the episode it stores, I think there's like 3 of them in a crate, right? And they're trying to assassinate the Duchess Satine. And inside of their tops there, they can store little mini crawlers that go out and attack whenever they're deactivated, I guess. It's like a bit of an anti-capture procedure or something. It's like, oh, I failed, now I'll send out all these little ones. But I'm pretty sure they could deploy them anytime they want, as far as I know. But they're very menacing, very big, kind of, you know, they're assassins, right? Big, huge claws, big personality. Just trying to get their target secured, you know? So I watched that episode with my dad, actually. We're watching through the Mandalorian TV show. We got through the first season. We're all caught up on the second one now. And I was like, hey, he doesn't know a lot about this Mandalorian stuff like I do, because I didn't watch the series. So I decided that we should watch through some of the Clone Wars episodes, and then we'll eventually get on to Rebels. But so we started watching through the Mandalore arc with the Clone Wars series first. And the first 2 episodes are, you know, establishing Pre Vizsla and the Death Watch, and then Voyage of Temptation, where this thing comes in. And I'm like, I bet I could build that. So I looked up some pictures on Google to see if anyone had built it out of Lego before, and I think I saw 2 custom ones, but they were a couple years ago and didn't have a lot of the pieces that we have now for Lego. So I decided, what the heck? What better way to spend my time than a couple hours working on this guy? So this is my Assassin Probe variant. I think it turned out pretty good articulation. I gotta say, it's a little inaccurate in some ways. Like these legs are kind of go above his head usually, and I struggled with what size to make them. I ended up going with this 3L bar instead of a regular 4L bar. Which, for those of you not in the know, if you've ever purchased like a Lego set or a Lego Star Wars set especially, the lightsaber blade piece is a 4L bar, so like a 4 long. And then there's a smaller variant that they produce a lot more now, with that's a 3L bar, which is a bit smaller and makes the leg position just a little more accurate, can scrunch up a little bit more, have that much more range of motion without being too long to pose it correctly. So all in all, it's a little bit bigger than minifig scale, but come on. If you were in like the Lego Taste Public, right, and you're like, oh, we have all these different builds of droids for the Star Wars universe. None of them are minifig scale, right? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Minifigure scale is not a thing, no matter what BrickVault might have you believe. So I'm pretty happy with how this would scale with a minifigure, especially if I would make a mock of that dining room in the Voyage of Temptation. So yeah. Kate says in the chat, it's 2020, dude. I'm pretty sure that people know what Wikipedia is. Well, Wikipedia, yeah. Wikipedia. That's another thing entirely, right? It's another thing entirely. Talking about this model, I guess there's a couple interesting building techniques with this. I ended up using, what's that part called? I think it's in, is it in bars? Maybe, no, it's in, not in dishes. Huh, what part is that under? Let's see, let's go to submodel edit, and then submodel edit again. I guess submodel edit again. I have only submodel effect by, okay. Well, I just want to know what this piece is. So that is piece 75937. Okay, so this piece right here. Let's return to main model. This piece right here. Some of you may be familiar with this from builds like the Droidicas. It's a very handy piece when trying to build those with all the different leg segments. I thought I would use that for the base of the legs, but I realized this piece was just kind of too small and wouldn't give me the space I need to space these legs out evenly. And if you're an astute watcher, you might notice that the actual droid has 8 legs and this one has 6, and I just couldn't help that based on the size blueprint that I wanted. So just 6 legs. 6 legs works fine. Works well for the front ones. Just kind of makes sense to do it that way. So I ended up using these modified 1x bar hinge clip piece, which is fairly new and has been used a lot, especially with the Lego Star Wars line, to get just the right shaping on some things. So it's very useful because you can swivel them around in their base and also clip something to them. So it was a very good piece to use for these legs, a very good standing spot. I did end up using this piece for these 2 sections here, which if we pull up the picture again, it has a weird shape. It has a larger underneath and then a slightly smaller top bit with a bunch of eye sensor things. And that was kind of hard shaping to get right. I could have used some different pieces to get like that conal shape at the bottom, but I decided that was going to be too difficult to do by itself. So I ended up just making a clip design with this submodel here. So if we just kind of yank that out, you can see that it's a bunch of tile clips with a 1x2 jumper plate with a little notch in the middle, just clipped on to the edge, and that makes a nice round plate feel. Gives it the right jut out that I was looking for, so that it would be a slightly bigger blueprint than the one above it. And it's definitely not, you know, accurate or whatever, but I like the shaping, I like the look of it. It just makes sense to what it is. And that's how I go about most of the things that I create, is like, oh, does this look right? Yeah. Does it look exactly like the thing? No. But it's, you know, it's big blocky Lego pieces a lot of the time, minus all these fancy new bar and clip elements. So I think it's just the right blend of blockiness and slenderness when it was. And I ended up using a lot of these studs with holes in them that seem to fill out some of these areas where it would look really spindly. These parts, it makes sense to have spindly because they're longer, and if you fill them out too much, then it looks really big. But these points just work to fill it out and make it feel a bit more substantial where you'd want stronger joints. So that's what I ended up with for the Assassin Probe droid from the Star Wars The Clone Wars episode Voyage of Temptation. I was originally going to stream that because I was feeling it. I was like, oh yeah, I want to build this. But for that, I just kind of did it, and as soon as I was done with it, I was like, oh crap, now what am I going to do? So I decided to do another stream talking about the things that I made so far and possibly building another thing like this, which, you know, was the plan, obviously, but we didn't get that far. Didn't get that far from the idea. So let me open some other files that I think are interesting. The ATRT, that was a pretty cool project. Not minifigure scale, obviously. It's very blocky and brick built, but I looked at the ATRT that was out at the time, which is not part of the new 501st Legion Troopers set, but I looked at the one before that, and I was like, oh yeah, I could design something that I could actually build with pieces, and I did. I built something physically first, and then I made the model later because like, oh, I could, you know, make instructions and people could see it, and that would be pretty cool. Cade says, that's cool and all, but since this is a building stream, let's see some of that hands-on block placing. All right. I'll stop showing off my things, but we'll stop with the ATRT for now. Kind of similar building techniques, but this is, I think, the first thing that I tried to build, and so it's very, very blocky, and that's something that I'm trying to get away from, make things thinner and smaller. So the question of the day: what shall we build? That is a very interesting question. Personally, I like to build a lot of droids or smaller vehicles. So we are going to hop into Wikipedia again, and we're going to find some inspiration. The first part of any good project is having a good idea. If you don't have a good idea, why bother? So we are going to take a look here at, go back. We are going to take a look. Search Wikipedia. We just search droid and see what we find. Droid, Droidica, Droid Tri-Fighter, Revolution, Worker, Factory. It seems to repeat itself a lot. How happens if I just look at the droid article? And this page tells of the history of battle droids and some. Ooh, what is that? 000 theorized that a special engine powered by human blood could connect the droid to the Force. That's interesting. That sounds like something that we're hearing about in The Mandalorian. I'm not sure if anyone watching hasn't been caught up with that, but basically in the, what was it, 1 or 2 episodes ago, Moff Gideon was discovered to be doing tests with Grogu's now named the child's blood for unknown purposes, but we see Dark Troopers in a hallway at the end of the episode, and I'm inferring that he's trying to get them like connected with the Force to have a bunch of Force wielding powers, either for himself or his troops. But that's interesting there. How droid-like those Dark Troopers looked in that episode. So I wonder if that could be connected in some way. Classes of droids. First, second, third class. A lot of those are kind of smaller. We're looking for something kind of big. Oh, and we got to the end of the article. Security droids. What do we got here? Oh yeah, like the K2SO guys. Forcer droids. KX series. I'm surprised they don't go into like better detail about what kind of droids were there. Just a lot of appearances and sources. Let's see. Can we find anything useful in here? Category. Here we go. This is the page I was looking for. So this goes into a bit more detail. I wonder if the ones in the Mandalorian from the Prison Break episode fall into this category. I think so. Bunch of letters. Trending pages. Let's see if we can find... Let's see. These guys here. These are pretty interesting. Oh, and already, whenever you look up anything, you'll always find someone's build or take on them. That's pretty cool looking, gotta say. I can definitely see the resemblance there. I don't think I would ever use helmets, though. That's for sure. So, what... Oh, Wikipedia article. Take a look at these. A model of security droid was utilized by the New Republic Correctional Corps. They were used above correctional transports and the like. Interesting. I wonder if there's more... Is this concept art? Looks like it. Are there any fuller pictures we can get of them than that? I suppose we could just look at the show and like pause when the menu's on them. But, well, here we go. Let's go on to YouTube. Pause that, need it. Now, you don't really see a whole lot of their feet, do you? Do you ever see an angle of the feet? You have to. Like at the start of the episode, maybe? Oh, there's an angle of their feet. Okay. Maybe we'll build up one of these guys. They seem kind of fun. An impeccable part of any New Republic mocks, you know, as you do. As you do. You could do a mock of this Rebel transport itself. I actually have a Mando figure, not the newest one, but is it going to focus on that? No? You're not going to focus for me? I don't even know if this... I lost him! Oh no! But it's the Mando figure from the ATST ambush, assault, AT, you know, AT, this thing. It's from this set that I still have sitting on my desk because I am enthralled with it. It took me far too long to go out and get the set. I mean, $40 isn't a small amount, but yeah, should have gotten it a long time ago. Long time ago. So I think, I mean, I'm not strongly in favor of pursuing this, but we'll start off and see how far we can get into the process. Sometimes you start working on something and you're like, oh yeah, I have all these ideas for these techniques, and then once you get to that point, you're kind of like, yeah, this isn't really working. So we will see how far we can get with this guy here. So let's see if we can find... That's a screen grab from that particular scene, and there's a bunch of them. So I reckon we'll kind of flip back and forth with the images. So we're gonna put that on my second screen over here, and we'll take a look. Oh, here we go. Okay, where do we even where do we even start? So this guy is he's a fairly lanky dude. Fairly lanky and bulky dude. Oh, we also have these other security droids. These things that this guy picks up. Do I remember his name? No. Just remember he's voiced by or he's played by Mr. Krabs. Yeah, these security ones that remind me a lot of Daleks, or you know, some of the Daleks, the ones that fly. Maybe we'll get around to that. We'll stick with what we got. Where'd our... There we go. So he's pretty tall, all things considered. He's probably like maybe like a brick taller than most droids are. Most people are, I'd say. Let's get this over here. There we go. Open image in new tab. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So what kind of pieces am I seeing so far? Well, I think a good place to start would be the torso, because that's going to be the basis on all of the other connection points for what we end up going with. So let's first look at minifigure body. If we look at body part, that'll give us this list of, I guess the list is mostly obscured, huh? Yeah. Over to this left panel, you have your selection of all the different parts, right? And this has a bunch of like droid and skeleton legs and pretty much everything. So there's a lot of different torso pieces. This one's from a Nexobot. So we'll just put out every single kind of torso that could work. Who's this from? That's from a Magna-Guard, and this is a Bionicle figure body part. You got your traditional droid slash Martian body piece, which is just the funniest thing, I think. What else do we got here? Is that all the kind of big torso pieces that we got here? I think so. We'll also pull out a modified brick with the... We'll pull out one of these and one of these with 2 studs on the side and then 4 studs on the side, in case none of these torso options work out and we just have a bar connection through the center of the hollowed out studs. So let's take a look back at our picture. Uh-oh. Is our stream still going? I'm looking at my live preview and it has a big old buffering sign on it. We gotta double check. Oh, I see it on my... Okay, it's still going. We good. Okay, I just gotta stop looking at the backup there. So he's very squarish chested, and then obviously his arms kind of go like this, like a protocol droid, but it's gonna be kind of hard to get that bend in there, so they're probably gonna straighten out a bit by the time we're done with them. Some ball joints would be nice for that, if we could figure out how to get a socket connection in there. That's going to be kind of tricky. Will it pull up if I do sockets? Yes. So we have these pieces here, which are our main socket components, right? And then you have these big old trailer hitch pieces, but that's not gonna work at all for what we want. And then we have the small connection, which would work well for that in the bar pieces, which some would call a microphone piece, but it's not. It's a ball connection on a bar piece, which is kind of useful for some things, not useful for others. This would be good for connecting to the droid's arms, but I don't think this is going to integrate well with a chest section. Not unless you like stacked two of these on top of each other and turn them to the side. And that's just going to look wonky. And you can't really put them side by side because that is far too wide for a figure who's about like a stud or two across, right? Like that's just too big. So we got to figure out what kind of connection system. Undoubtedly, what we're going to have to do is the bar connection, right? That just makes the most sense. I'm partial to the Bionicle one because of how big it is, but the MagnaGuard one would be pretty good as well, and it gets kind of the shaping that we need. We just have to work around this large bar connection at the top. Actually, is this one a bar or a minifigure head? Okay, so that's a minifig head component for this one. I think we're gonna go ahead and discount that one from the record. Normal battle droid hull, Bionicle, MagnaGuard, or blocks. I think the battle droid one's just a bit too skinny. It might work for like a COD piece, but at that point it's really big. If we like, let's say COD piece. You know what I meant. You know what I mean. Can we? Yeah, that'd be really large. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. So we are left with these two. I think let's keep both of these around, push them into the background a little, and kind of try and work on the head. And we can see by what kind of connections that needs. We'll see. We'll see which torso would work best with that. So we're looking at kind of like a V or a shield. Let me actually, so you guys can know what we're talking about. We're gonna save this, and we're gonna crop it. Crop. There we go. Save a copy. Downloads. Put it in there. And then we're gonna go into OBS. And we're gonna add it as an image onto the stream. There we are. And we'll just, oops, we don't want to move that. Oh, I forgot. No, restore. Transform. Edit transform. Right. Oh, cool. Fix itself. Pop that in the corner there. Okay. So now we have our our reference image up that I'm using. Oh man. Okay. So what do we got here? Normally when I make these, I definitely don't talk as much. So this is it's an interesting stream experience to be sure, especially when no one's really talking to me, which is okay, obviously. let's bring our other reference image back up here so that I can kind of see what's going on. So he has a very, very shield-like face, very, very wedged, and he has that yellow slit thing at the top. So that'll be pretty important detail to get. We might have to use an interesting technique with cheese slopes, maybe? That might be an idea. Let's see. Not exactly a boxy head. So maybe either these wider ones or this bigger one if we're looking to do that kind of shaping. So if we put this one like that, and then put another one on the other side, and I'll do recolors later, you get this really kind of big shape. Maybe we could try some of these ones, but I guess you'd kind of get tall head syndrome, right? And even if you kind of looks like a bunny droid a bit. Oh, if he slid down, put him at like the half point. That's a bit closer to what we want, right? Bit closer. So if we put a tile, we don't want a tile, we don't want a plate. Put a plate in there. Let's do the trans yellow. We're kind of left with something like that. Very flat, very tall. Put another tile at the bottom, because that would probably be filled in. Oh no, I guess there's a little notch, right? Little notch. What if we went with a slope instead? Like one of these notches in them. That might provide the shaping we're looking for. But we might sacrifice a bit of our positioning, because I don't know if they have very good obviously the clutch power for that is not as great as we want it to be. I don't even think it really fits on like that. It really has to be put on from the back. Let's flip this whole assembly out here. So how do we get this onto there? Maybe if we did a modified tile? No, modified plate. Took one of these. Put it over here. Turn it this. Oh, I forgot you can't put them straight like that. But I think it's got a stud in here. Put it on like both sides. And put that back in. The left is something a little like that, right? And that's a little closer to the shaping that we're looking for, I think. Looking back and forth between my... Yeah, because it's like cheekbones, right? The cheekbones slide back and kind of enclose there. Ooh, that's a good side angle. Imaging tab. Zoom in on it. Of when the Mando, I think that's like a knife or an arm or something, throws something in it, it gets stuck in the droid's optics gives us a good idea of how big. So we could put it like 2 studs big as, you know, going back that far. So maybe this piece isn't exactly what we're looking for, but we can extend it a bit farther back. It reminds me a lot of like a protocol droid's head, but it's like stretched out. So if I turn this thing back like that. It's definitely close to the shaping I want it to be. But like, how can we use this, right? How can we use that to form the rest of the head correctly? And that might just not be possible. Maybe if we put like the optic back there, and then put a plate on the top of it. What kind of plate would we? Oh, we'd use a tile for one thing. Let's get out a jumper. Those are always a bit kind of wrong one. There we go. One with the groove in the middle. Really has to be farther forward. So it'd be something like that. And that's not exactly what we're looking for here. Let me take a look at our other friend's custom model. Put it on Reddit. How did you make your head, sir? So it looks like... Okay, so he went the extremely boxy route, which I think he just studded it and then used one of these 1x1 bracket tiles, like this, to get the top of the head in place, which might not be a bad idea. But I really want to get the V jaw line. That's what I really want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I want to really, really, really want, as they can saying. So, how do we get that? How do we get that? All I need is like a wedge plate, right? Wedge plate. So maybe something like this. Kinda. The problem with trying to make these things like sort of minifig scale is you get caught in this really limited arrangement of parts, right? Really limited. Let's try something else. Let's try, well, not something else. Let's do slopes, slope curved. Let's take some of these, move these. Get some plates. Two of those like that in the orientation that we want. So we've made these those slopes the back, so that gets up the rising bit, and then these ones in the front. So we're left with that kind of head shape, right? Side does it look better from? I mean, it looks better from that side, but as far as like overall head shaping goes, I think this makes sense. The only issue from there is getting it all to connect properly, right? And then getting that into a position where it can be connected from the head. An obvious thing we could do would be to put that piece like that doesn't work that way. Nuts. Okay, let's take this into a separate building space, right? Open up a new place. Okay, now we just see this. So, let's see, collision. So it looks like, yeah, that just collides with those pieces. It'd be really nice if that could just connect in there. The only thing bad about this technique is it sticks out a lot. You know, and that would be the only thing holding this piece together, which is not what we want. Alternatively, it could stick up the top. You kind of fall for the tall head syndrome again, though. That leaves everything else kind of hard to fill in. Although you could just, I know Brick Vault has used similar techniques to this with their what thing was it? It was the Vulture Droid model. They used this very expressly to connect up two sides from a small space. And they had to figure out what to do with the little nubbin. What you could do, if we put like a brick at the top, right? And, you know, all of a sudden it looks like it's, you know, supposed to be there. But it puts it up a bit really high than what we want. And the slit is going the wrong way, so it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right at all. So how do we get this idea out of the water? Let's look at a different family of pieces. Try looking at minifig accessories. Part usage is a big part of making any Lego MOCs. People in the community will tell you that. I have a habit of not being very creative with my part usage, going for very straightforward choices. So we need to take a look deeper at what Lego has available for our benefits. And from there, we might be able to find something that we can use to get the shaping that we want. These ingot pieces might be useful. What else do we have here? What will give us our head shape? What will give us that nice V. What will give us that? Well, that won't give us the dual stud thing that we need, will it? I don't think so. Maybe. Or, you know, look for elements that'll allow you to do what you need to do. Like with this, I think we could just sandwich this in between. Or might have to... Yeah, like that would work. But then you run into a problem of, okay, but how does that fit into the shaping of the model? If I was making like a blur, like Autobot blur, sure, that would kind of work for him because he's a Finn. Option. We'll keep that to the side. I'll probably pass up a lot of pieces that have similar building functions. Something like that forfeits the ability to put anything in between. We can weapons category, which is a little less useful overall. You get a whole bunch of shields and peg hole accessories, ergonomical parts, which is a completely different skill from what we're working in. Now let's go back up through the minifigure accessories that we've already looked at. Our friend who has already made this has made a lot of use of these wrench pieces that can attach to a stud, it looks like. Let's test that out. Pull out a telescope. So that has a stud connection, which would be useful for arms. So we might take that technique from him. But that doesn't help us out with this, because we're looking for in studs, not out studs. This. Utensil key. There's a stud on one side. Not useful. Alternatively, a Technic piece might work for this kind of thing, but that'd make it too wide, and at that point you might as well just use a brick or something. Which, now that I say it, I should have tried it beforehand to see how well that looked. Brick modified. We'll do this one, and that'll widen it out a bit, which might be a good thing, might not. Turn it on its side there. Okay, we're left with a pretty wide head that gets us the shaping that we wanted. Let's go back to the brackets. If we did, let's see, pull out some brackets to use, and then go back to the modified brick. If we did, oh, I forgot about this one, but we need it on both sides. Something like that. Oh, that would give us a connection, pull connection at the bottom. That might not be so bad. That gives us clearance to put in the visor, right? And then we put in another one up there, and then maybe like another one. Put in a tile at the top of that. So you'd wind up with something like that. Looking at, oh, this would kind of switch places. There. And it has lost. The side shaping is fairly good and accurate. It's just when you get to the front, it just doesn't look right, does it? Doesn't look right. If I was like a all custom mockist, I would have just put like a sticker over the front of the shaping to get the way I want it to be. But that's not how we roll here. It's not how we roll. So I don't think that technique is going to work out. Ideally, there'd just be a droid head that would work perfectly. But I don't think there will be one. Let me look at the let's see, minifig body part. out where I can find droid heads, or do I have to look at minifig head? Okay. Heads, hair. Head modified. This is where we'll find all our weird ones. Got a bunch of Simpsons ones molded. Protocol droid. Some of the Paraka from the Bionicle figures, which have a lot of molds. I mean, we could settle for one of these. It'd definitely make our lives a lot easier, but it just would kind of forego that accuracy, you know? Which isn't what we want. But that's where a lot of the problems of being like a purist mockist happen. Is you're bound to the confines of the pieces that you have, or the pieces that are like available in the program, right? If I was a little more creative, maybe I'd design my own parts, you know, mold a custom set. It's not too bad. What am I kidding? It is. This might work. This is a welding helmet. I want to put that as a candidate, because why not? It's definitely less accurate than I want to be, but it has like the visor. It has the overall kind of head shape that I'm looking for. So we'll keep that as a possibility if I can't manage to build something that's decent enough to use. Let's take a look at modified heads again. Yeah, none of these really encapsulate the features that we need. Yes, this one, dude, it's a robot head. No. No, absolutely not. Okay. Let's look at some bar connections. Oh, we might be able to do something with this. That's an option for bridging two parts together. That's probably one of the hardest things to try and do with Lego pieces, is combine two sides of things together. Especially in this scale. If it were in a bigger scale, then you could use a lot of different techniques, but you're really limited. Really limited. What about is there any Technic pieces we can use? Oh no. No, you put a stick into an anti-stud connection. You can have that, and that's how you combine a lot of two-sided things. But there's no studs in there. So what are you gonna connect? Nothing, exactly. So this allows for closer connection, which is what we want. It's connected in the back. And those droids do have the top antenna thing, the detail there. I don't know if you see that in the reference? Yeah. It's thinner than that, but given the scale, like a lever piece would be way too big, I think. Like, that sticks up really far, and it doesn't do that in the model. So that might be a good candidate for getting that shape that we want. However, we're still left with the issue of how does this connect to a head of any caliber, right? Like, what is the connection? Is it a pole connection is pretty much the only one we have at our disposal, I'd say. That's the only one that kind of makes sense to have. How do we get a pole connection out of this? very good question. And we still have that problem of the visor really isn't the right shape or dimension, really. Let's look at bar again. You can have that connect up to the bottom there. It's not really in the best place because it should be like in the middle or the back, right? I could sacrifice this shaping to get the connection that we need. But at that point, you might as well try a different technique altogether for connecting. Because you can't. You have two other connection points, and one of them should be taken up for something else. It gets us the extra detail we need for the top. It covers up where that notch would go. Yeah, we're gonna have to try something else, I think. Something else. Something else. This one might just be too hard to try and do. At least for the shape. If we abandon the shaping that we like want, right? Like, oh, we can't have this, so what are we gonna do? And we could do something like a plate stacked on another plate. Ideally, this would be like too wide. It's like one of these in the same color, which I think is right. I like to use it only in the colors that they actually come in. So that way, if someone wanted to build it, they could actually build it. So that would go on like that. Do you have any modified tiles that would kind of work with that? This one, that'd make it really big. That's it, too wet here. Two tile around. Let's keep looking at these reference images here. Yeah, they're more squared off than that, aren't they? So it really needs to be oriented like this, right? So that that would be there, and this would be over here. Oops. No. Oh my goodness. There we go. Transala. So it'd be something like that. And then ideally what we'd have would be things on either side of it. So we're gonna take that ingot piece and like put that on the side of there, right? And that'd kind of give us a bit of definition without making it too big or, you know, blocky enough. But it could stand up to go up a stud or two. So what we could do is put like a 1x1 bracket here and then here underneath where these are. And that would put ingot pieces on the same level without having them be too strange. The only problem you run there is that there's obviously a space, so they may be at the right place with the same spacing on both sides, but it's just not there. Basically, it's not all there. These would be good if we could put two of them like on the back, or like one of them on the back to round off that section. So maybe we'll do that. And then what do we do about the sides? How do we get the definition that we want within the height confines that we want? That is the more difficult question. One that I'm not sure if I have an answer to. What if we got a brick in here? Again, playing around with the modified bricks. It's just the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do in that situation. It's not like that. Oh, it'd have to be, because then this would poke into there. So you wouldn't have the connection on the back. Let's get the bracket again. So that would be the connection point for whatever we had on the back. Like that. Right? You know, tall head syndrome again, but we'll keep messing with it so we can get what we want out of the shaping. This is all, you know, experimental, whatever. So we want a wedge plate, I think, maybe? If we got like... Oh, that's for the wrong side. I guess there's enough clutch power there for that to stay on. And then we got another one for the other side. Something a little like that. And then you'd have another one of these up here. Preferably to be a tile. This is not the right shape. That gives us the shape that we want. But the problem we had with this one was the overall width it brought to the design. Like it's really, with the brick in the middle, it's very fatty. And if you were to attach this to one of these torsos that we decided would be easiest to use, then it's too big. It's as big as the torso is, and much bigger than, say, like a minifig head, right? Which it is supposed to be, but not that much bigger. And I said before I didn't care about minifigure scale. I don't necessarily, but I want them to look like they belong together, right? Like, they don't have to be accurate, but they have to look good together. So if I put my Mando next to one of these, the droid's going to be taller, but the droid shouldn't look ridiculously taller than this guy. And we're just not achieving that with the techniques that we're using. I mean, we could use this on this, right? And that gives us kind of the shaping we're going for. If we put a... that's not what we're looking for. There we go. If we put like 2 of these on top of each other and put this on there, that gives us our neck that we want. And then that would go on top of there, except it doesn't want to. So, how do we get it to go on, even if we do that? Well, the obvious choice would be one of these studs with a hole in them, and then, you know, it would accept that, and it would be pretty stable. It makes it very flat, which is not exactly what I want. And that comes in that pearl dark gray. And it doesn't give that shining quality that we want. Are we thinking about this too hard? Usually it doesn't take this long to even like basically start on a thing, but it's a tricky shape. Something so simple can be so tricky. So let's take that. And what if we did something like that? This piece gives the jaw kind of shape. I just don't know. Just don't know. You guys got any ideas? I don't know. I'm really struggling with this one, to be sure. Are there any tiles? Let's see. Any useful printed? Let's see. Printed tiles that have kind of the detail we're looking for. Well, that one would be useful if it was... This is a sticker. But that would kind of fit what we'd be looking for. If we turned it like that, then it would have that line. Except we're looking for one that's yellow. You guys got a similar sticker or print that would work for that purpose. Not especially. And now we're getting into the one by whatevers, which is just too big for what we're working with here. And all of the variants on Studio don't necessarily encapsulate all of the prints that are available or all the stickers that have been available before, but that's what we're working with, you know. We're not making custom pieces. We're not building with physical Lego pieces and we can just look up and be like, oh, that would work perfect, and, you know, pull it from our collection. Building with what we got. And what we got is this, which forces us to go with like the brick built, but we're not able to get there. We can't get there with what we have. What if we... No. Stop pressing the wrong button. What if we brought this assembly back? With the brick, with the problems that it has, right? If we just took this piece, does that actually fit like that? No collision at all? Huh. Okay. Now if we take the other one, since I don't feel like looking it up, we'll just take it from this page. Apparently, visually it looks like it collides, but the program isn't telling me I can't do it. But even as that works out really well, I'd still like to be able to stick a bar into the bottom to connect it up to the head. Unless I can just... let's see. Will it put a collision now? Yes. That's what I thought. So it fits snugly with this. Which I don't get how it wouldn't collide like that, but it's not telling me that it is, so we're just gonna, you know, take it, you know, accept it. It's like, okay, I guess it doesn't. Face value there. I guess what we could do, if we just kind of gave up on it, is stick one of those at the back, and then it would kind of just like swivel from the back, and that wouldn't really hamper with the rest of the movement. What if I put a bracket up there too? Like one of these bad boys. So that would fit with there. It'd be higher. We got put these there instead. Okay, those collide because they have the more rigid underside than these do. guess this up here could, I guess that could just kind of stay as is, couldn't it? And then from there we put on this, this sticker, which doesn't look too bad. Just too bad it doesn't come in another color. Can we change that, even if it's an unavailable color? It just changes the color of the brick itself. So for the sake of my sanity, let's say that's the head shape that we're looking for, right? That's the one that we're looking for. How would that connect up to anything? Let's say, can I just set it somewhere, please? Thank you. If we go back and look at the modified plate, this thing. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't stick anything on the front of it. Which is why we had it like... Oh, I forgot we also put studs there. That's how we ended up with this whole assembly before, wasn't it? So that it would work with that, and then we couldn't figure out what to do with it after. Can this rotate down anymore? No. What if it started from down there? Like it was already... No, that would collide. Okay. So it makes sense if we can turn this like that. Or like that. As long as we can have something front facing. Well, no, because then we arrive at the same thickness problem, which is why we decided to go with that in the first place. So it's almost like you need two separate assemblies to keep those parts together. If you're going to have those ones on the back, which would give it pretty good shaping if we could get it to be like that. Then that would solve our problems. Like that shaping is good for the head, right? That's the shape that we want. Plus maybe like a little bit extra on the top. So how do these connect up? Because you can't just... Well, even if... Yeah, you can't just do that. What about a T-bar? One of these. Excuse me. These on like a stud with a hole in it. Right? And you put that on one end, that on the other end, and then you get something like that. I don't know if you'd be able to. Probably be able to get it. If I just do that, and then that, and then they'll move in as far as they can. Which is apparently pretty far. No! Come on, program, you didn't stop that? Okay, that seems like a decent distance. And this one... So is that the right? Well, no. But it gets the idea across, right? So then we turn this T-bar like there. Then we put another stud with a hole in it, and that would allow it to receive it. So let's take these sections off. Put the T-bar in place according to how the program thinks it would be able to go on, like that. And then put these sections on, because this would be the only way it could really connect up, as far as I see. Right. And that looks kind of ridiculous. It looks cool from the front, I guess. Just from the side view, it's very obviously not what we want. Obviously not. What if we put... Oh, that's the piece I wanted to stay there. What if we put another one of these behind it? In theory, right? You still kind of have the same problem, huh? Because due to the nature of how the brick lines up, it pushes back, and those ones can't really push themselves forward. You could put blocks along the sides if you did it by the 4, but then you're arriving at the same problem. And now that we have this sort of okay head shape, I realize that it's pointless, because you can't do anything with it from that point. Like, you can't connect it to anything except from like maybe the way back. And that's just not what you want. I mean, I guess you could stick one of these in the middle of it, and then you sort of have something, but at that point it's like, it's pointless. It's very pointless. So I think, just so we can move on to something else, we'll just go with that, because that's at least something, right? That gets us to our neck connection, I think. Yeah, if we put in a bunch of, what am I looking for? Plates. Round. Bunch of these studs with holes in them. We'll just make those black so they stand out. And that's what color they'll eventually be. We stack 4, but we probably only need like 3, right? Then that assembly could go. That's not what we're looking for, is it? So maybe like just the connection. You can form a connection between that, and then that will give you what you're looking for. But you don't want a pole connection sticking down if we're gonna... What, does this head even scale well with the torsos that we have here? Like, does it? If it doesn't, I can just make a brick built one. It'll just take longer, and that's not what I wanted to do. But maybe it would work out better that way. Yeah, the head is still kind of big, but it's in the right ballpark of what I want. It's in the right realm. Cause like this is the minifig head, and if you count for like, you know, a helmet or something, let's pull up, you know, one of these dumb old, I like them a lot. Just a helmet.
They're about the same size. And these heads are about the same size as a person's head. So it makes sense that they would be that big. So, even though I really didn't want to have to make a body, I really thought I would end up using this one. And it would have like the connection points that I needed. But I think it might just be better to make one. Make a torso. And then we can have our piece connecting that together. So that'll be what we'll use for our head. As much as it's not perfect, but seeing as the only other models of this are like purely the squares and don't have the shaping at all, I'd be happy with just that. That makes sense to me that would work that way. So let's just do that. Whew, what time is it? 8:20? I've been working on this since 7. So we've spent an hour trying to figure out how big the head should be, or what the head should look like. It's taking me that long. Yikes. Ooh, what if I did one of these? Would this work? I think the answer is no. What if I put these studs on the side, then would it work? Unsurprisingly, no, because of this central shaft here. That would be... well, it wouldn't even be in the right place even if it did work, but... even if I put a T-bar there, it wouldn't quite work the way I need it to. Anyway. Let's keep moving. We spent too much time on the head already. So, we have our torso section here. So let's put 2 of these back. And that gives us our neck. And then from there, I think it would probably be a section like that. And kind of stick on, right? Let's just move those over there. And then stick on like that. So, to counteract the center of the head being all the way at the back, or the center of the neck being all the way at the back, we have to build out the torso so that it's more frontward. I want to look at the minifig body wear, because his shoulder section, like this section here, I feel like there would have to be like a Lego armor piece that would work well for that. Like it would just look right. Whether or not I can find that, that's another question entirely. Pretty limited. Okay. It's a little closer. I think I'm thinking of this piece here. I can't believe I pulled it up just then. This Nexonites piece. Because it would have, I mean, if it were sitting on a figure, it would have the right pauldron sections where you need them to be, as opposed to something like this. It has like the shoulder bits that are kind of present in the actual model of the thing. So we're gonna try this. If not, you know, brick build it, obviously. But okay, I need brick. Another modified brick. So that's but then how does that connect up? That's the other question. That's the other question. How does it connect up to the rest of the head? little stumped. Because ideally you'd have the minifigure head pole sticking up out, and then it just kind of fits in. But we aren't getting that with this one. Let me look at those torsos again. Minifig body part. Because you might be able to get one of them to... that one's too wide. Would this one fit underneath it? Apparently not. What about a skeleton? No, that's the old one. Not the new one. Okay. So that would fit underneath and give us our connection points that we need. What about this one here? Yeah, it would work if you could, you know, force the stud to fit in that section there. Which is very improbable and would never happen. I think this will kind of be our only option as far as getting a connection up through. So we're gonna roll with that. I think what we also might try is getting a minifig head, put it in black. Right, so use that to connect up through and just make that like our neck section. Make it black. So then, obviously it wouldn't be like this tall, but you put that on there. And I guess you could connect up a block or something. Not that block. Maybe, because this won't... Oh! Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So the pole connection can fit in that slot, you just don't have the neck. Hello? Okay, so that doesn't go down any further. What colors does this come in? See, pearl colors. Oh, apparently a lot of people made it in custom colors too. Rubber flat silver. I'm not sure what these rubber colors are. I assume it's like made out of a rubber. I'll go with the... Is there anything better? Is there like a more light gray? I guess they are darker. Pearl dark gray. So we'll pair that with dark bluish gray. And that would be really expensive to get your hands on, but we're not worried about price. We're worried about what's available, right? I'll put that in black. Actually, does this come in black? It does. What if we put that in black? That gives us our neck color. And from the inside, that works out. The understructure is black. I think we might do that. I'm not entirely sure. What colors does this come in? Dark bluish gray. Perfect. And for this, it's a sticker, so it doesn't matter what it was included with. Doesn't look great. I guess what we could do... Ugh, now it looks like it has like a giant eye. What we could do is just put a tile at the front of it in the color that we want. I don't
think it would have come in this color though. Oh yeah, trans yellow. And we're left with kind of that, which isn't ideal, I guess, but it's a bit better than this. Like, it's in the right coloring, basically. I don't know. We'll leave it as that for now. So we have kind of our body. It doesn't have the antenna detail, which is, you know, it's fine. It doesn't, you guys see that light flickering? A little bit. Not really. It's just messing with my eyes. Why are you doing that? Stop it. Okay. So that, I think that gives me the body that I kind of want. We can just slap a tile at the back, maybe. No, it's not really rounded enough, is it? Maybe like some. Did we ever see these things from the back? Kind of not really. Well, there's one from the back. It's kind of like a bit of a control panel looking thing in the back of there. So I guess if we do my favorite tile, my favorite printed tile anyway, which is not those ones, not the tape. This one here. Put this one at the back of there. Get one of those ingot pieces and stick that at the back. I mean, it's pretty much like putting the same thing, except it has like a little more dimension, you see? So it kind of looks like a little backpack thing, which is what we want. And this only comes in dark bluish gray and the old gray, obviously. Does this come in... Oh, it only comes in the light bluish gray. It hasn't come in the dark bluish gray. So that gives that dimension which we want. Cool. So now we have this. Not what I thought we'd have after an hour, right? I thought we'd be pretty much done with it. Oh, his face didn't come with him. Let's go ahead and make some submodels so this won't be irritating. Submodel create. Make that the head. And then we'll make this the body. Okay, so we got the head, which you can easily remove, and then the body, which can be removed from that. So now, if we get rid of all our clutter, we'll get rid of that for now. We just have this left. So now we gotta work out how the legs and arms work. Thanks to how the skeleton is, we can get the outward curve of the arms. The camera really isn't positioned well to show you body, but like, you know, the square up arms. The square up arms. We're going to be using a lot of the bar hinges, which, you know, is just commonplace. You know, these things. These are very important. So are these hand segments, and I think the candle piece might be useful too. The newer candle piece, I think it was introduced like 2 years ago when was it 2 years ago when the Harry Potter sets came back? They were introduced in some of the Hogwarts things. But those will be useful for, you know, extending arm pieces. And, you know, thanks to the way this armor piece is, we don't have to worry about giving him the side pauldron thingies. Ah. Well, that's not how far out I thought it would go. How far can he actually pose those? Oh, that's I mean, it's not a great range of motion, but it's better than I would have expected. all things considered. Can I just like see like this? You can just, and all of a sudden he has long arms. So I'll put him like straight. So that's not what we want to do. I think what we're gonna do, actually what we could do is this. Put this up here, right? And then from there, you attach these. How long are those arms? They're pretty long, but not that long exactly. Like ideally, we'd have arm builds like these, but I don't think their arms go past there like that. What I would have done, right? If I had the modified brick underneath the armor like this, I would have done what are called the stamp pieces, but I think they're like modified plates. Or no, modified round tiles, right? You put these on the end, and then you connect up your, you know, whatever arm segments to there, right? But I guess that'd leave us a bit worse off then as well. But that's pretty much our only option as far as that's concerned. The arms are too long. But I want some bend, so we might just go with a default arm piece. Even though you'd want something, you know, more posability, but you might, you know, sometimes you just don't have that. Let's see, body part, regular droid arm. Let's see, very wimpy looking. But, you know, it's a skeleton torso. What do you want? Exoforce arm. Let's rotate it a bit. See if it'll fit in there. I'm assuming it just won't because of the way that the piece is. Yeah, it just cuts into the... Oh, wait. Come on. No, that won't connect up. Okay. What about this? I think this is from the Bionicle figures. You know, that might not be the worst option. It's about proportional and has the right bend that I want. Is this the Bionicle one? Hero Factory, from the Hero Factory figures. My mistake. Battle droid arm. I mean, if it had a bend in it, it wouldn't be too bad, but it's a bit too big. What about the actual Hero Factory? Oh, that requires the pull connection on the top, right? What about these hand accessories? Does he need bigger hands? Not that big. We can just give him General Grievous legs. How about that? Just so we can have a rough idea of the scale we're working with. Oh no, those aren't General Grievous legs. Those are Darth Maul legs. Do they have Grievous legs on here? What legs does Grievous use again? I'm pretty sure his legs and Darth Maul's legs are the same, right? This requires some Googling. Let's look at the part number. Darth Maul. So what are Grievous's legs? Are those not the same piece? I guess they are slightly different. No. Those are like the same gosh darn piece, my guy. I'm not sure what's different about them. Yeah, that's so strange. Anyway, if we did end up going with them, they'd be the right color. So,
And does this come in the right color? Flat silver. If we're gonna stick with our trying to put it in the right colors. Oh no. What have I created? Is this even like slightly proportional? Let's see. I mean, kinda, yeah. The problem is that he looks really tall and goofy. That's our only issue here. Like, he's not too flat or anything. Where it all falls apart is down here, so we're gonna have to make some custom legs, obviously. So just take those out. I think the arms are as strong a candidate as we can. What? Where's this from? Fish face. Oh, that's from probably Ninja Turtles, right? Yeah, not the worst thing. Definitely wouldn't put the extra force legs on him. Mechanic, Hero Factory robot. We're just gonna use all the Hero Factory legs because they make the most sense to use. All these custom molded pieces. As much as like the minifigure parts that we're using, we could almost go with that welder's helmet. I really think some model edit. Like the skeleton probably needs to be the dark bluish gray, like we were thinking about before. It messes with the neck color a bit, but like overall, it helps bring the other colors together. Okay, that's the right color we put them in. So we're left with something a little like that, which is closer to what we want. Whether or not we actually want to use those leg pieces. Where was that picture that showed me his feet? Show me your feet. Wait, let me take that back. Show me your legs, so I can know how to build them. They're very small pictures. Very poorly exported. They're terrible looking. You can barely see what I'm looking at. They're very spindly kind of legs. I mean, these would work. You know, just for fun, I want to try putting on the welder's helmet. Oh, there's one with a little print on it. Let's try that. So, let's go to the head. Big head. Any color will do. And just kind of plonk it on like that. I mean, that doesn't look too bad for like if you were making a Hero Factory thing. That doesn't exactly scream out these security droids though. Maybe better than my custom head though. Gotta say. Okay. I think let's just put a blaster in his hands, right? Anything weapon. Accessories. Weapon. Let's find a classic Star Wars blaster, shall we?
Give him one of these with a little Technic pin on the end of it. Here's the Technic section. There it is. Technic. Linker. Put one of these in the light bluish gray. Interesting that it won't let me put it on much further than that. Weird. Okay, black. Can we rotate this a little bit? I mean, we tried really hard. Sometimes you just can't get it the way that you want it to. So if oh, it's not even close. Oh no. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is a bit of a learning experience, right? The humanoid ones are always harder in the scale. Let that be known. Let it be known. So we'll go ahead and save that. Or no, not assessment. As security droid. And yeah, that's our finish. Our finished droid there. I gotta say that I've already made a better humanoid droid with this IG unit. This one's based off of the one from The Mandalorian. IG 11, I think it's called. Still never sure what to put. If there was just a dark bluish gray of that piece, that'd be just perfect. Couldn't make it black. Couldn't make it reddish brown. Maybe reddish brown works better, I'm not sure. But like this, although it's more basic, it gets like all of the details that you'd expect out of an IG unit, right? Opposed to like what it actually is, which just uses like the regular battle droid pieces and just gives them a taller head. Like this is proportional, it works. Our security droid doesn't follow the same basic principles of just making it slightly better. It tries to do too much, I think, is where I went wrong with a lot of this. And just the scale doesn't let it work very proper. So I mean, it from front on, you can see it. Like, you can see how it looks similar. Would I use this in a mock, however? No. No. So not the best showing. If I had live streamed this would have been a lot better, because I really like how this looks, how this turned out. This one, not so much. But it was fun to just kind of experiment. Just show you guys a bit of what I like to do. Ideally, I'd build stuff out of pieces from my collection, but I don't have all the pieces, and this is a lot. It takes a lot less time, especially for like cleanup. When you're just like trying things out and you're just like, oh, what if I put this here, this here? It takes out a lot of the physical breaking apart process. That can take a lot of time. But we're gonna close the book on that one, and I am exhausted from trying to make this thing work. Like I said toward the beginning of the stream, sometimes you can get it to work, sometimes you can't. I probably should have just called it in the middle of this one and tried to build like a droidica or something. But yeah, this is fun. Cade abandoned me early on, so he left me to hang here. Left me to die not bored. Die of no one to talk to, no talking points to think of while I was making this monstrosity. But anyway, thanks for watching the stream. If you did, if you're still here, I would advise liking this one. Wait till a better content one arrives. I'd like to do actual Lego building streams with like a set I'm really excited about. When the 501st Legion Troopers set came out, I got a couple of those and built those together, and I was like, oh, maybe I should make a stream, or maybe I should make a stream of the ATST attack or something. But you know, that's something we'll get to in the future. But for now, whenever I do a building stream, it'll most likely be these kind of things. Next time I'm not making a humanoid, we're gonna make a vehicle or a building. I think a building would be fun to do. But yeah, thanks for watching the stream. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye. That's the wrong stream place. Post stream. There we go. Thanks for watching. There it is. Whee. That went so much better the last time. It's so difficult, dude.